jab, uppercut, leave you laid out on the floor. Try to duck and roll, hit and miss, now you counting stars. Should've practiced more, should've hit the mask, get out there more. Claim that you're the best. You gotta show me, son. Actions over words, baby boy. Is you real or what? Talking way too much, world come. Back sports, talking way too much, world come. Back sports, talking way too much, world come. Back sports,
Once again, you're tuned in to World Combat Sports. Salute to everyone on this Thursday as you set your clocks, to join another weekend in your lifetime. You know what I'm saying? Be blessed for prosperity and everything else that goes along with a healthy living. Big shout out to the supporters, World Combat Sports supporters. You know how it is, man. One love to you always. You know what I'm saying? Always appreciation to those of you that tune in to the channel. So let's get right down to the nitty gritty. Let's get down to the nitty gritty of things, man. Of course, there's not much new, news when it comes to boxing. But, there's always something when it comes to creative content. And this will have to be, I thought it was very interesting with the TBV interview. He's basically changed up his platform. He's working in between, Florida and Vegas right now. So give it up to TBV. He's been in the game doing his thing, changed levels with the platform. Looks very nice. He has a budget now. He said that. So I'm not, I don't care about people's money, but he has a budget now. So tonight he did have Paulie Malignaggi on. And, he had Bill Haney on the other day. He has a totally different look. I like it. It looks very, very professional. It looks upper scale. And I think it's great for him. That's what he wanted to do. You know what I'm saying? So it opens it up for, him and his people to settle down with a set team. You know what I'm saying? The guy is there now. He's pretty good. You know what I'm saying? I like his boxing knowledge. And he can rock with Ness if he has to, because Ness will cut you off and goddamn fire fully automatic on your ass if you just sitting there with that shit in the holster. He holds his own. He gets into the topics. He fires back. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to TBV doing their thing over there with these boxing topics. Tonight, Blair was on there. Very interesting cat. I like his personality, his bravado. I like that he's one of one right now in boxing. Blair Cobbs is 1-1. Not just from the persona that he gives to his audience, but also his background story. He had a very, very rough childhood, especially when, his dad was, mixed up with the cartel and everything. And as a kid, he had to change up his identity, and because his dad went on the run. So he was in the he stayed in Guadalajara, Mexico for several years. And he just had a rough childhood to the point where he didn't even have an identity of his own. Like, he had to keep on switching up names and everything else that goes. I mean, very dangerous. He said he was in, life, death situations plenty of times. It came down to the point where he just decided that boxing was where he wanted to do the most reckless dangerous, physical abandonment he possibly can, because he kind of put it on the edge of, losing his mind, losing his mind a bit, and just going through some trials and tribulations in his life that you just can't throw them aside. At that young age, you just can't put them aside. So as he's on there, man, he started rip. I'm talking about he rips into some of the narratives, some of the boxers, your favorite boxers that's a part of these narratives that's being pushed, and he keeps the same energy. He talked about how he was the man out there in Philly. Nobody was fucking with him. I'm talking about boxing, to include Jerron Ennis. Now, I'm not taking his side on anything, period, because I heard opposite. I heard that Jerron Ennis is that guy. You know what I'm saying? For my people down here in the A, they gave Jerron Ennis mad love. But when it comes down to Blair, Blair looks at it as if, man, he gave Jerron Ennis that solid, memorable work. You know what I'm saying? He didn't walk up out of there with a question mark or any doubt that he went in and gave him work. Now, who's telling the truth? It all depends. You know what I'm saying? You know how boxing goes. Most of the time, sparring is not something that's the headlines out here in YouTube. But more and more fighters are getting to a point where they want to talk about sparring. You know what I'm saying? They need it's becoming a simple protocol now to talk about something that's usually not the code. And the reason why they're doing it, they're trying to build up the attraction from their fans somehow, some way. So in order to do that, they're talking about sparring another fighter that potentially they want to fight, or to see what the fans, to kind of see how the audience out here in social media community bites onto it. You never know. It's just fighters don't have the Blair Cobb flair. They don't. You have to admit, the time when he stepped the boots in and set the fight, it was good for TV. You know what I'm saying? The time he had on that mink or fur or whatever, that's where Rolly got this shit from. But I give it up to him for staying in the sport. He's 32 years old right now. His window, say he's at the end, because when you start late, sometimes your anatomy is preserved because you really haven't put your body through the rigors of an extensive amateur career and bleeding over to the professional ranks. You know what I'm saying? So he might peak out. He may potentially. He's 15-0 right now, right? I think 10 knockouts. He'll probably peak out. Let's say Blair may have about 7 years left. You know what I'm saying? I give him 8. I'll round it off at 8. That'll put him at a cold 40. You know what I'm saying? You can still fight at 40 now. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to bring up any names, but you can still fight at 40. Okay, you watch boxing, you know what the hell I'm talking about. So I give him a cool 8, Ocho, and give him a big salute behind that. Let's see how it works. But here's a snippet of what he said in the interview. And appreciate everyone for pulling up to the spot. You know what it is on this block. Hit the like button if you choose to. For real. It's up to you, people. Hit the like button, shawty. Let me first acknowledge the people in the live chat, man. The boxing astutes, fanatics, the boxing historians. Someone calling Boots out. I like that. Yeah, man. Blair, he keeps it. You can always tell when something is heavy on his mind, his eyes get big and he talk about it. King Mitch on deck, man. Come back. What up? What's up with you, Mitch? How you feeling? Blessings to everyone. Mitch say Blair the Flair been calling out Boots. Can't blame him. He's trying to get a fight. He say he has a fight coming up. And Boots is fighting Custio Clayton. So supposedly, we never know with the bullshit ass info to be out here, but supposedly he fighting Custio Clayton. And then Blair says he has a fight coming up, but he just can't mention it. Of course, right? I have to get this super chat, man. Big salute and appreciation. One love to you, bro. Mr. Gumbo on deck. It say salute WCS. Only one talking about sparring is marvelous. Oh, marvelous. Yeah, man. Marvelous, bro. You see how they talking about sparring more and more now. And the only thing we missing is video. Some people put out video, some people don't. You know what I'm saying? I think, look, this is my take before I get into this audio. I think if fighters put out sparring, it would increase their attention from the fans and I think increase their fan base because it will be another source of entertainment, especially in this YouTube community, to have content creators grab your content, which is the sparring session, and talk about it. In the process of speaking about it, your name is being mentioned. Both fighters' name are being mentioned. I think it's good. I think it's good shit. I think if people release their sparring, it would be very very good. Like if you got your ass whooped, hey, it's totally up to you. But you had some very solid good work, and you in there with the competitor, a well known name. Then guess what? Put that shit out there for the content creators. Hey, check and see. Hey, check this out. Hold on. Check this out. What Blair had to say. And bring this over here. He keeps it 100, man. I like his interview. And once again, this is from TBV, man. I got to give them a site. I got to give them a shout out. Shout out to Ness and his co-op, and shout out to Blair, the Flair Cobbs, man. But once again, shout out to Mr. Gumbo. Appreciate the super chat, my brother. Much appreciated.
It's gotta be you're 100% for your dream, and your dream is 100% on that. So like I don't know. It's not something where as though like, oh wow, I was surprised, and the reason why is because like that was his one and only opportunity for true greatness. Like Manny Pacquiao. If anybody steps in the ring with Manny Pacquiao, that's legendary for them. Mm-hmm. That's everything.
Yes.
Like,
but you gotta rise to that occasion, and he did it. You gotta give him credit for
I
doing
it. I give him 100% credit, and like he's an incredible fighter. I mean, he's doing really good, and you know what? I just want to see what happens. What happens when Earl gets tested? Like
you don't feel like he's been tested already?
I just want like after this crash.
Oh, after the injury and everything.
After the injuries, and then like he even got injuries in camp. Like we got to really start thinking about like, well, shit, is he gonna be even okay for this fight? Is he gonna make it through?
Where have we heard that from?
Training camp. Like I don't know, but. The best of Earl Spence versus the best of Terrence Crawford. Who do I think wins? Crawford.
So
where have we heard that from? I'm just saying. Saying. Where have we heard that from? I'm just saying, bro.
Let me ask you this before you give your reason why. In what fight do you think Bud was his best, and in what fight do you think we saw the best of Earl Spence?
I'm not trying to really get in depth on the entire interview and taking it to an Errol Spence, Terrence Crawford type of situation. I just want to touch on how Blair had mentioned his backstory with Jerron Ennis. And he really, check the replay on TBV. He really devalued Jerron Ennis sparring session as if it wasn't as competitive as what people would think right now. he made a solid point. He said that when you have people behind you pushing you to be a bigger star, your name, people will start attaching themselves to you and believing that you bigger than what your competition is. And I totally understood what he said because Jerron Ennis' resume, come on. I got to keep the same energy I kept with Devin Haney's resume back then. He hasn't fought anybody outside of Sergey Lipinets. So to hear, Sean Porter come out and basically throw that jab from afar and say that Jerron Ennis was overrated. He has his reasonings for saying that. He is a fighter. He is a 2-time world champion. Then on top of that, Blair gave, he pretty much concurred with it. And then he went into the story of how he was he the man in Philly. Like, he said, man, them guys weren't fucking with me. And then the guy asked him, well, what about when they said that the sparring you and him was in, Ennis got the best of you? He said, listen, they can say what they want, but Bozy, they was happy to be in there sparring me. They was just happy to be in there sparring me. He was pretty much saying that, how you hear all the fanboy and all this shit. He was just like making it seem like he was the dude, he was the guy, he was the man. You know what I'm saying? He was talking about he punished several many sparring partners over there in Philly. He said he's punished them. He said it was time that people didn't really want to, spar him like that. And then, you look at his record and you look at his stories. Once again, he goes in detail about how he was out on a hiatus due to boxing, being blackballed. Dude has a very high energy personality. You know what I'm saying? He's very vocal. He don't really bite his tongue like that. And he said, you know what? I can fight. He said, I can fight. That's what I know I can do. Sometimes, guys got to have, the proper setup and the right amount of days. He said, no, back then I was ready to step in there after going through hard sparring. When I was starting out, I wanted to test myself. So I come off some hard sparring and want to take a fight in a week or two. You know what I'm saying? I really wanted to get in there, and see what I'm about. And I can understand and respect where Blair was coming from. But I know people are going to be running with it about the lack of respect that he's showing Ennis as far as the Powerball effect that's going on with Boost Ennis in his YouTube shit. They have him at the top of the lottery. You know what I'm saying? It's died down. I can't say I the one shut it down, but I sure enough talked about it because they was busy up here talking about the same choir note. The same motherfucking choir note. Boots fight Crawford. That shit is dead. Done. That shit is dead. Put a headstone to it and leave it alone. Now he's fighting Custio Clayton. Let's see how he looks in there against Custio. And then after that, we will see if he gets a big name. But with Blair the Flair, he said he wants to fight Ennis. So they basically ask him the question. They say, for those who, understand that you're not in the top 15 in the WBO, what will make you deserve a fight with Ennis? And that's boxing. Damn well you don't have to be in the top 15 to get these guys at the top. If the buzz is enough out there in the boxing universe, they'll make the fight. You'll skip over everybody because really you don't have it. You don't have it. An extreme. How you put it? You're not ranked. You're in boxing, but you're still invisible at the moment because of your lack of consistency in the ring. I think the last time that Blair fought was June 2021. It was a 5th-round stoppage. So for him to think about um stepping in the ring with Ennis, yeah, Philly fighter, you know what I'm saying? Getting in there, it's always good to have a backstory. Why not rock and roll? You know what I'm saying? He was asking about Devin Haney too. He said some pluses and minuses about Devin Haney. He didn't dog him out in there like that. He was just like, you know, um, he feels that Devin Haney is growing into his body. He feel like he's getting bigger, and he was putting it out there. Once you start to grow into your body and pick up a little bit more muscle mass, you're not able to basically move around and be as quick as you once were when you were still at that lighter weight. When your metabolism is rolling over and it's smooth sailing. All cylinders just fire up real nice. The more weight you put on, and the older you get, cylinders run different. But he didn't have nothing bad to say about Devin Haney per se. He said that the question came up about different scenario based fights they was talking about on this podcast in the welterweight division, and Ugas was brought up, and it would all stem off Errol Spence pulling out of the Pacquiao fight. And Blair said that it's the same thing I've been saying for forever. We don't know how he is outside of the accident. We don't have an idea how solid Errol Spence is. But check this out right here. Of course, I had to get some sound bites. I'm saying I had to get some sound bites in this. Hold on.
It don't even matter because the thing is, like, I'm not even watching Pacquiao. You know what I'm watching?
My music playlist popped up too.
We fast forward later on, they finally get the fight done, and then like Pacquiao's training 100% for Earl Spence.
Yeah, as a Bon Voyage fight though, Blair. As a last hurrah, my last paycheck.
It don't even matter because the thing is, like, I'm not even watching Pacquiao. You know what I'm watching? Earl Spence. Mm-hmm. My eyes is like, first of all, these two fights, Terrence Crawford and Earl Spence. I've been watching these guys like more than they probably ever watched themselves. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? I know them more than they know themselves. And like when I say that, like, one of the things that I can't really take serious right now with Earl is because, like, what happened? And then we say, and then this happened. The text retina.
See what I'm talking about? Like, you get a fighter and a personality like Blair, who's pretty much operating on the same wavelength of that I am. The sound bites in this this interview, but like I said before, I'm always fair with it. Go to TBV and check for yourself. The entire interview was pretty good, man. It was solid. Blair talked his shit, but he also said he really didn't understand. He really don't know how what condition Spence in, how Spence is going to continue to perform after this. But Ugas' name came up, and he said, man, he dogged Ugas. He didn't even know who Ugas was when he was in there sparring him. And he said he made easy work of Ugas. Now, of course, it was before he title, but he said he made easy work. He said, I didn't even know who the guy was, to be honest. He said until somebody on my team say, hey, that's so and so. No. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna ask you all, to take hey, take it for truth. Take it for a lie. This is coming from Blair the Flair Cobbs. He seems to be credible, but then sometimes as a man, I'll look at some of his 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 replies and say he's kind of exacerbating the situation a bit. You feel me? So a lot of it I think is him being genuine. He truly believes in himself. He believes he's that good. But at 15-0, 11 knockouts, he's gonna have to go in there just like he's talking about Boots. He's gonna have to get the fight so we can see how good he is with a top opponent. Because right now we can't say that. Jay Ocho on deck, man. Salute, bro. Salute to you. Andrew Charles, what's good? He said, WCS salute. Salute to y'all brothers, man. Appreciate you pulling up. Mitch says, Blair the Flair. Woo. Ennis still whoops him though. I like to see Blair mix it up in several welterweights. He's on Golden Girl Island though. He is. He's with Golden Boy. Absolutely. And my point is, in listening to Blair, he truly believes that he can beat Ennis, Jerron Ennis. And once again, we have to look at it this way. 1 minute we saying we hardcore boxing fans and we study and we read and we're not fangirls and all this other shit. But then all I hear is individuals doing the same shit that they up here criticizing other people like myself for doing. Like I ride for my favorite fighters, but check this out though. If you cannot put a lens to Jerron Ennis' resume and say that he hasn't fought anybody, if you can't tell me that, then you need to create a name for yourself. I went through the whole process of his change of rankings from 15 all the way to 2. It was pretty damn thorough. His biggest opponent to date was former junior welterweight champion Sergey Lipinets. This man goes up, he comes into the fight right before the fight. He comes in there. They move him up to 5, like I said before Thomas Delorme. And then after the fight, which was in October, after the fight, in November, they move him up to number 2. I mean, it's just incredible. But look, listen to what Blair, the Flair, said. He believes he can beat Ennis, man. He said he sparred Ennis, and there was no problem. It wasn't even no hesitation, no problem. He said, man, I was killing cats over there in Philly and sparring. He says he has a reputation over there. But also he does mention about being blacklisted. When he was out the ring for like 3 years. But the points he's making about Ennis, Ugas, and especially Errol Spence, I wouldn't consider that hating. He just basically putting it out there that he doesn't know if Errol Spence is 150%. And also he made a very, very great point when he said, if you have an eye injury like Errol, that means you were getting your ass kicked. That's what he said. He said, if you got a detached retina, you was getting your ass kicked in sparring. Is he right or wrong? Y'all tell me. Is he right or wrong for having that type of mentality to say, if you have a detached retina, and look, this is not coming off the Danny Garcia fight. This is how I'm basically observing and listening to the words of Blair the Flair, right? Why would you have a detached retina? And it wasn't something that was coming off the Danny Garcia fight. People can say what they want to him. Oh, he didn't know he had it, this, that, and the other. Blair said he must have been getting his ass whooped in sparring. That's what he said, not me. I didn't say this shit. That's what Blair said. He must have been getting beat up in sparring. Is he right or wrong?
You know how you get a detached retina in fucking sparring? He must have been getting his ass kicked. You know what I'm saying? Like, we don't know how really bad that accident had plagued him. We don't know we don't know what position Earl really is in. I remember when at one time, they were like, it was like, finally Earl is talking about fighting Terrence Crawford. That's because, Like, he literally just got out of a fucking accident, and he's probably shot. And, like, in his mind of, like, oh, shit, I'm shot. Like, I might as well just go ahead and make the money. You know what I see? I see a lot of fear in Earl Spence.
Whoa.
I see
a man that doesn't
fear.
take tune-ups, you see fear?
Yes. Yes.
Explain.
I see a lot of fear.
Please explain.
Look, you don't need to take a tune-up. Like, Mikey Garcia is a tune-up for him. He's tailor-made for him.
Danny Garcia's a tune-up?
I mean,
Your Philadelphia boy?
Danny Garcia, yeah. At that particular time, yes. He's a tailor-made fighter.
Ugas is a tune-up because he's coming over a detached retina straight into Ugas.
See that? I would love to see that. But
well, that's happening. April 16th and 18th.
Okay, we'll see what happens. But let's just put like
three belt unification.
Ugas is the weaker fighter out of everybody.
Yo, Ugas out here in Vegas, man.
I know.
He gonna give you some work, man.
Somebody, let's see what happens to fucking Ugas when he gets in the ring with Blair. It happened already.
Oh, so you sparred him at Silas?
Man, I spanked him so bad. I discarded who the hell he was. I never knew who he was.
But he just after the belt. After the belt.
Long before the belt.
Okay.
When I first came here, I came here out of shape at a 140 pounder. You know what I mean? And I dismembered that guy. I was like, all right, cool. I'm like, my Bones is the one that had to tell me, like, yo, you know who that guy was? That was Ugas and stuff. Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, okay. On to the next.
Think about that. You know what I'm saying? He was descriptive. What do you think about that? He was very descriptive in how he broke that down. Tom Ugas' name popped up. He said, it's already happened. It's already happened. What you want me to say? It already. And you say, I like the Clayton matchup. If it happens. See, I've been using the if word and people feel some type of way about it. Yes, I slide shit in there. I don't sit up here and say, oh, this is what I'm saying. If. With boxing, you got to say IF a lot. You know what I'm saying? IF. Because all the shit that they put out here, first and foremost, end up just disappearing. It was all mumble jumble to begin with. It was circuitous, man. Plenty of fighters have gotten off on Ugas in sparring. I don't see these guys beat Ugas while the lights are on and the headgear is off, though. And you make a very, very solid point with the headgear and then being on the bright lights. But if the man say he whooped on Ugas, you know, every boxer has a sparring story. You know what I'm saying? But if he has that one up on Ugas, he's not lying. I mean, if he said he went in there and he whooped him, at least he was honest and said it was before he got the belt. He didn't say, oh, it was close to him getting the WBA title. He didn't exaggerate it. He just kept it 100. He said it was before he got the belt. So I have to give him, some very, very high marks on his credibility. You know what I'm saying? In certain things, because he just don't lace it up so the shoes fit him. He just don't speak that way. He don't lace everything up. So his shoes always fit. They look nice. And, he walk the walk and talk the talk. No, that's not what he does, man. Andrew said the Lorme was 1-4 streak before he fought Boots. But I think I've mentioned that enough. Hey, man, I just totally couldn't gather why it was such a big deal to speak of Jerron Ennis coming off Thomas Delorme. Like, it sucked. You know why it sucked to me? Because it was a lot of people that I truly respect in talking about boxing. But for me to get up here and speak on any fighter that I support heavy, or just speaking about a fighter in general, to highlight Boots Ennis in a way, just because he had his hands raised, but his hands was raised off Thomas Delorme, just like Andrew just mentioned. 1-4, dog. Like, dude, it's no celebration. It's nothing in the post fight. I will give you a perfect example. Shout out to Javon Pop Woodard. When I talked to him one time and he was coming off a devastating, knockout where he blasted on it. He got off on this guy on the card down here. He said, I'm not really happy about that. I was supposed to do it. I don't get happy about that. That's what I was supposed to do. You know what I'm saying? He kept it 100. He say, yeah, I was a devastating knockout. That's what I was supposed to do. Boost beat Blair, I think. Blair's on Rolly's level. Oh, no. Hell no. I don't think he's on Rolly's level, dog. Who agreed with what Andrew just said about Blair the Flair being on Rolly's level? I think he boxes very different than Rolly Romero. Now, you want to talk about level as being a late starter and still trying to establish themselves as one of the top rising contenders in the sport. I can see how he's not getting no flair when it comes to that, really. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be a while before we see him get that flair, unless one of these top names like Ennis said, you know what, I beat Castillo. I'm not getting any of the big names right now. Let's go, Blair. You want to settle this Philly beef? Let's go. I'm tired of you talking about it. I heard you over there talking that you did me dirty, and it was easy work and all that. Let's go. I want Blair the Flair. We're going to settle this shit. You came up to me post-fight. You was talking your trash and everything. Enough of that. Enough of that. Let's get this done. That's what I want to hear. That's what I want to hear from some of these fighters, bro. Boots beat Blair. And then Chris Colbert comes on my timeline. Ugh, that Chris Colbert fight is off. Hey, damn, you beat me too. Before I even read your damn comment, man, I was like, I'm glad I don't have to talk about him no more. If it's another fighter I despise, you know what I'm saying? Out of Errol Spence, it's Chris Colbert. And I have very good reason for that. That dude is arrogant as hell. But anyway, enough of that. Thanks for dropping that there, Jay Ocho. Just saw it. I saw that come across my timeline too. Because people be hitting me in the dropping stuff while I'm on live. I don't know why they don't tell me most of this stuff while I'm not on live. Blair versus Rolly sounds an interesting matchup. They're in two different weight divisions, man. How you gonna have Blair and Rolly? I mean, that makes no sense at all. That makes no sense. Roger Gutierrez caught 19 allegedly. Oh, he's get the 1-9. He got the 1-9 addendum. He's sitting on the 1-9 addendum. It's a lot of people, ain't it? Damn. That's the new excuse now to get out of a fight. I know I mentioned that, right? It seemed like you mentioned it. That's the new the 19 addendum. That's what it is to get out of a fight, dog. They're gonna run this all the way to a good 24, 25. For real. We saw and heard Shakur got off on Ugas. If Shakur was to move to welterweight right now and fight Ugas in a real match, he get his little ass beat. Ugas 35. He ain't going all out in sparring. Well, hey, he wasn't 35 when he sparred Blair. Let's keep it real. He wasn't 35 when he sparred Blair, though.
But he just got done beating the guy you said Errol Spence was scared of him, Manny Pacquiao.
I didn't say, definitely don't think that Errol Spence is scared of Manny Pacquiao. What I'm saying is that Errol Spence is scared. I'm calling scared, goddammit. He's scared of Terrence Crawford. Because that's a real fight.
But why?
What was that I just heard? What was that I just heard? Hey, I hope all you gripe angry men out there being Blair Flair's inbox because of what he just said. You know what I'm saying?
Why do you believe that?
I didn't say, definitely don't think that Errol Spence is scared of Manny Pacquiao. What I'm saying is that Errol Spence is scared. I'm calling scared, goddammit. He's scared of Terrence Crawford.
And the backlash I have somewhat received on the impulse and high blood pressure of these YouTube content creators. Now you have alternate individuals that you can drop info in his inbox just like you did me, okay? Get big angry, get gripe angry with him after what you just said. That was Blair the Flair Cobb said that he believes that Errol Spence is scared of Terrence Crawford when it comes down to it at the end of the day. I don't think I've ever said that. You know what I'm saying? I don't think I used the S word, but he said scared. We saw and heard Shakira got off. Okay, I read that. Done dot on deck, man. What's good with you, bro? I just saw the Blair Cobb's interview. Damn, that man is for real. Yeah, I like that. I like Blair Cobb interview, man. I like his whole how you put it. I wouldn't say portrayal, but I would say his energy and how he articulates what he wants to say in such a brash manner. You know what I'm saying? I like how forthcoming he is. It's good to be forthcoming like that. He has a high level of confidence to him right now. But we in a goddamn show improved sport, goddammit. All this that you said on this interview with TBV Blair, you're gonna have to back that up. Period. It's gonna come a time when a fight's gonna be signed, whether it's with Ennis, and you're gonna have to back it up, bro. You're gonna have to back up this talk. And I want them Errol Spence fans. They see Blair up there at the fight. I want them to act the same way when you see him. Talk to him the same way. You be dropping all this shit to me. Address him. Address him on his comments because he said he think Errol Spence scared of Terrence Crawford. Address him. Ugas is a seasoned vet at this point. He be sparring to get work in. He's much meaner under the lights. Now, I will say this about sparring. Look, I'm a person that I've told you about the sparring that I thought that was legendary, right? But yet, both of those fighters headed into world championship fights. Gervonta sparred Brian Norman Jr. down here, and then after that, he went into a championship fight and won. Terrence Crawford came down here to the A, rolled up in that motherfucker, joking. That's why I have mad appreciation as him being one of my favorite boxers in the sport, period. Because his entire mentality when he approaches, what's supposed to be a tough situation, his mentality is different. He's up there communicating, talking, laughing, this, that, and the other. And he's about to get in the ring. A lot of dudes, I'm gonna tell you, it's one person when he get ready to spar, you ain't saying shit to him. Brian Norman's mentality and demeanor is opposite of Terrence Crawford. Brian Norman, he's ready. He ain't sitting there to play no motherfucking games. He looked like he about to motherfucking commit a homicide. Go grab the motherfucking the yellow tape and call forensics. I'm serious. And then Crawford's over there like it's another day. He just left home, told his kids he love them. I'll be back in a minute. I'm just going down here for a fight. Don't worry about me. I'm good. I like that about him going to different states and dropping in and getting work. When Brian Norman stepped in there, he gave Crawford some very, very good sparring for whoever was there. I'm not going to keep on reiterating it, but all I'm saying is out of the 3 fighters he sparred that day, Brian Norman hit him with some AT&T. He reached out and touched him with a motherfucking dynamite stick on the end of it. But yet, look at this. Terrence Crawford leaves. Go get more sparrings elsewhere. I'm talking about leave Atlanta. He has a fight coming up with who? Sean Porter. And we just seen this sparring. He goes in there and do what he did to Sean Porter, man. Come on. I can't really take sparring like that. I can't really go all in and say sparring is the end all be all. if you got fucked up in sparring, you ain't gonna be shit as a boxer. I can't say that, bro. Boots ducking Cobbs, man. Cool boy Curry coming here talking about he want to start a whole nother hashtag. You know what I'm saying? Boots ducking Cobbs. Don't disrespect Blair the Flair by comparing him to Rolly. For real, not Rolly, man. And then that's Rolly. You don't know what the fuck that nigga talking about, dog. That's Mitch Boy though. Chris Choker Chain Colbert. Cotton candy ass Colbert shit. I rock with Prime Time too. That's unfortunate. Hey man, you know what? People rock for people for different reasons, man. Maybe at that time you wasn't fully sober. Now that you sober, you might want to reassess your decision making skills. You know what I'm saying? You still have time. You know what I'm saying? If they got the 1-9 addendum and had to pull out, shit, he ain't gonna never know that you unsubscribed. Unsubscribe to his ass. Blair knocks Rolly the fuck out. Rolly a lightweight. Blair welterweight. Absolutely. Two different weight classes. Blair's big, man. Blair's way bigger than Rolly. Way bigger. No. Jay Osho, man, come on, bro. He has Robert Whitaker on a rematch. What are you saying, bro? And why are you getting off topic? Derek Bronson, please. Robert Whitaker may have the belt. Scared of Crawford, that's all I got to say. Everybody can see it. I'm not comparing them in a matchup. I'm just saying they are comparable as far as where they are on the totem pole. That's what I thought. On the totem pole, I agree. They both late starters, and they at the bottom of the totem pole. True words, man. They are low on the totem pole. But as far as skill-wise, Blair will fuck Rolly up. He will fuck him up. Conor Ben will knock Blair out. I don't know that, man. You know what I'm saying? Cause listen, every time I talk about him knocking out Samuel Vargas, it's almost like I have to really take a pause moment and say, okay, it did happen, right? It came from Conor Ben, right? Okay, cool. I didn't see him stopping Samuel Vargas as he did. I didn't see Conor Ben being that dude. That took me off guard a little bit. I was like, huh? What am I looking at again? This is Conor Ben? Okay. But then you turn around and I try to tell people, I say, shit, you know, that was Samuel Vargas though. But look what happened with Adrian Granados. The only one that really did him dirty was Danny Garcia. But Adrian Granados went life and limb with Sean Porter. Man, he's been in there with some tough competitors, man. I feel you, but Blair has more skills than Rolly. As far as a totem pole, shit, Rolly is ahead. He's been built by TMT. About to be PPV versus Tank. Golden Girl ain't building Blair. Not yet. But just because Rolly has a forgive me fight, all right, a makeup and goddamn give a hug with a grip and grin photo doesn't mean he's above Blair. Because, first of all, he's still trying to make up the points from wearing that fucked up ass coat out there in the heat like that. He didn't wear it correctly. And you know what I'm saying? He didn't have that Pimp C mentality, because Pimp C is the only guy that I know that was in Florida and in 90-degree heat doing a video where Bun B asked him, bro, what you doing? You know how hot it is? And he said, the TV don't have a temperature. Let's go. Rolly didn't give me that. Rolly gave me somewhat like a guy, and he just wandered off somewhere, you know. And then he said, oh man, look at that guy right there. He has a damn big ass coat on. It's hot out here. Call him over here. It looks interesting. Call him over here. That's what Rolly looked like a little bit. Like he didn't really look comfortable in that outfit. When you put on an outfit like that, you have to have that persona to give to the people as to why you wearing that shit. Javante looked at him like, man, this dude crazy. He got that big ass, hot ass coat on. But they trying to build him. For real. They trying to be a Rolly with TMT. They fucked that man over by taking him out of Javante fight because of these allegations that was never pushed to an adjudicated manner. That's fucked up, dog. And that's the one time, and I really don't even really like feel some type of fucked up way about Rolly. Because like I said before, when he picked up my glass, my camera hood that had rolled over there inside the lines, I remember small shit like that. I didn't tell him to do that. He went over there and picked that shit up. I didn't tell him to do it. So I gotta give him respect for that. Like, damn, dude, you probably a genuine good dude. But some of the shit you do, dude, I have to laugh at it for real, Rolly. I appreciate you though. Man, get off Cobra's back. Blair's nice. Comeback bullshitting. Rolly TT ass ain't my boy. Oh, I thought you was laying claim. I saw Andrew lay claim to damn Chris Cobra, so I was gonna throw Rolly on you. Y'all, you know what I'm saying? I'm just trying to, have accountability, make a head count in this bitch. Facts, Blair can't fight. He's slick also. He is. Man, dude, the background this guy had with dangerous people. Man, come on. His pops was on the run from the feds, dog. Man, what a life to live, dog. He said if he would have died back then, he would have died as if he was nobody. He never existed. You know how deep that shit is? He said if he would have died back then, it would have been like he never existed because he didn't know anybody. No friends, no nothing. It would have been like he never existed. So let's just walk ourselves through this. Imagine being in his situation and you getting older and older and pretty much understanding what life's about. But yet, something wrong. You pretty much understand a pops, he's on some other shit right now. You don't know the severity of it. It's something going on. I got to remember these aliases that he keeps giving me and this, that, and the other. That's a tough life to live as a kid. Real tough. But he ended up getting up out of there, man. I gotta give a big salute to Blair for getting to this point, man. Being and showing improvement, which is what we want to see. But him and his team reluctant to fight solid opposition is telling. Connor says himself he's 2 to 3 fights away from his peers. At least he's being honest with it. But the people, even the fighters that he's calling out that's already lost to somebody, all of them seem like they nowhere close to want to fight him.
Honestly, I think that they both look the same in every single fight. They literally put their best performance in every single fight. So let's put it like this: the last fight for Earl Spence was Danny Garcia. I didn't really watch that fight, but every fight before that was the best fight I've ever seen of him. It was like every single fight he was either better or just as good. And one of the best fights I've seen him in was against Sean Porter. Obviously, he won adversity with Sean Porter.
Out of the fight,
See what I mean by Blair? He's keeping that shit authentic, right? He's being authentic about it. He's keeping some integrity. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? He ain't straight up trying to slaughter the man in the media.
And then you got Terrence Crawford. He went through a lot of adversity with the same fighter, putting out the exact same stuff, but there's just a major difference.
Were you there for that one, for the Porter Crawford?
Yeah, I was there.
What'd you make of the stoppage? I'm just curious.
Oh man, I didn't like it. Okay, I didn't like it at all. Yeah, I didn't like that. I think that's all I could just say at this point. I didn't like the stoppage. Okay.
Why?
Because that's a real fight.
But why do you believe that? Because he's the one unifying.
I had to switch audio.
He's doing all the heavy lifting, according to him.
Doing all the heavy lifting.
He's picking up all the belts. He's like Thanos out in these streets.
Thanos.
Thanos Crawford would easily dismember every single fighter that Earl Spence did.
But he is.
And
he isn't
worse.
though. But
and
he isn't
worse.
though. But he isn't.
Where have you heard that from? Is this guy not keeping it 1,000,000%? Blair is talking his shit. What is wrong with understanding that people have opinions? You don't have to sit up here and threaten people all because it's a fight in your backyard. You're looking and sounding stupid. Blair is keeping this shit as real as he believes he can keep it. I mean, am I wrong? Blair is keeping it as real as he can possibly keep it on Errol Spence, man.
He's not getting those fights. It's Earl doing all the heavy lifting.
I know, because they got this whole thing where
And just for a PSA disclaimer, right? There's no such thing as heavy lifting when it comes to boxing, unless you're doing strength and conditioning. You know what I'm saying? That's all I can say. When you wear Versace robes, that's about it. That's the only heavy lifting you're doing. All this other cliche terminology that you're lifting belts. Well, guess if you're doing heavy lifting and you consider your belts to be heavy, what the fuck are you not doing in the gym? All that heavy lifting should be in the gym. You should be goddamn putting your body to work through extreme measures to change levels, continue to excel and elevate your conditioning. That's where you should do the heavy lifting. Man, them belts, man, just because you win 2 belts, it's a heavy lifting. Stop it. Stop it, y'all.
you want to invite politics and ratings and this and that in the whole realm of boxing as a sport. Mm-hmm. Now it just got to a point where I'm like, you know what? Fuck a sport. You know what I mean? I'm going on the entertainment side.
Did you just hear how smart he just put that up there?
Fast forward later on, they finally get the fight done, and then Pacquiao's training.
Hold on for a second.
100% for Earl and Pacquiao. What I'm saying is that Earl Spence is scared. I'm calling scared. God damn it, he's scared.
But he isn't. He's not getting those fights. It's Earl doing all that.
Well, that's the end of my recording. I'm not gonna replay the rest, but you get the point where I was going with it. The whole situation of me, the whole thing of me putting this thumbnail up here is because it's a bit refreshing to have a guy like Blair the Flair talk his shit, and at least him being at the lower echelon of the totem pole. This interview is gonna get some buzz. Now it's all about if they want to respectfully talk about him and create content. I don't know. I don't think a lot of people wants to talk about Blair, but they should, because he made another mention. He said, why wouldn't I get a fight? And you have all these YouTubers coming over here getting fights. What's wrong with me? I'm an actual boxer. You know what I'm saying? I'm an actual boxer. So if YouTube's is shedding my space that I've worked so hard for, then guess what? In the area, why don't I get some damn free time too to go ahead and fight some fights that they think that doesn't need to happen? Give me a name. Give me somebody that I can fight. Shit, go over to Triller and fight a motherfucking card. Try a different format of combat. You know what I'm saying? I like Blair Flair Cobbs, man. He's a one-on-one. He got his shit going on over here. He has a very, very witty personality. You know what I'm saying? He knows how to, twist and turn when he should. And then, but yet he gives praise when you think he's gonna hate. So you gotta respect a guy like that. It's not just straight up hate, like you don't have nothing to say good about the guy's a boxer, a person, father, anything. That's hate. That's hate. People start talking about, you put a hate this, that on Spence. It's not hate. I'm just telling you what I don't have a liking for, no support, stuff like that. It's not hate. It's too much energy. You know what I'm saying? I don't waste that type of energy. But I did read something in there where Mitch was talking about don't put Rolly off on him. Nobody wasn't putting off on him. I was just then attaching his name to yours, Mitch, so you can be somewhat like a boxing mentor over YouTube for Rolly, being that everything he's went through before. You know what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure you can mentor this brother and get him on the right track, get him mentally dialed in for this Gervonta Davis goddamn nights out showcase he's about to be in. I don't know, man. I don't know. I might need to roll that back a little bit. Stop playing. Rolly just seems like he keep on getting hit unless the referee stops and this is a TKO. I think Rolly will keep getting up, keep coming forward, getting blasted, and keep talking shit like what? What? That ain't doing shit to me. You don't have no power. For real. I think he's that dude. Facts Blair can fight be slick. Oh, so where was I when I was reading this? Don't throw that nigga on me. I just thought you was, open to be a mentor to the youngins. You know what I'm saying? Be a mentor to the youngins. That's all. Reynoso and Canelo ain't putting up with senior bullshit. They're gonna demote his ass. Hey, audio better now. Yeah, Blair bringing out the interviewer softness. He did a damn good interview, man. Check mark on this interview with the boxing voice. These dudes be out here 2 to 3 years after they fight Errol, though. Danny Garcia just returned from the Shadow Rim. Man, Danny Garcia, man, he has a lot going on with, getting his sister's career out there and a lot of other things, man. Like one thing I can say about Danny, that is one guy who, if I'm using the old term, right, swag doesn't dissolve. It doesn't absolve in any way, shape, or form. It doesn't basically go away and diminish. He's just all that guy, out there, funny, still keeping it cool. Got a bad one by his side. I ain't mad at DSG for real. He got his barbershop business, whatever he got going on, man. These dudes will be out 2 to 3 years. I read that. Mitch say, Errol, a bad motherfucker. I ain't tripping on what Cobb said. If he mixes it up with some of these welterweights, he's going to get his ass beat. But I do fucks with Blair the Flair, though. How can y'all say if he do mix it up with some of these welterweights, he's gonna get his ass with? But you know what? I fuck with it, nigga. Yeah, I fuck with it, but he gonna get his ass beat. Time he step up, then he gonna get slaughtered, man. Goddamn, call the EMTs before the shit even the first punch is thrown. But I fuck with that nigga, though. That nigga shit, what? Man, don't go like that, bro. Y'all gotta leave that type of support alone. Y'all have to leave that type of support alone. If you fuck with a fighter, man. Goddamn, show that fighter all the love and support. You don't sit up here and, well, this, that, and the other, man. Motherfucker get fucked up. If he fights the best welterweight, what if he go out there and upsets one of them welterweights? What you gonna say? You gonna goddamn go send him a bouquet of roses? Say, man, I just have to apologize. Be fair. You know what I'm saying? Because I was fucking talking mad shit about you. I was saying you're gonna get fucked up if you fought any one of them top names up there, and you showed me. So enjoy them flowers, dog. Hey, see you around. Peace. Salute. Be in boxing news. What's good with you, bro? Errol is the truth. He'll be undisputed real soon. It's good. I've said this before. Be in boxing news. He's on deck. We understand that name-wise, B&B boxing. We know name-wise, he does identify as Errol Spence. That, and when I'm saying that is true. I do believe his name is Errol Spence Jr. Some alias him as EJ. That is true. Okay. But as far as everything else to go with the hashtags, it can't be man down anymore. You haven't really been doing anything to knock a fight out. So we just have to wait till the Ugas fight, man. You know what I'm saying? Just get yourself ready. It might be a last minute replacement with Terrence Crawford to step in there with Ugas. I'm just saying, don't put your hopes up too high. It's just a lot that has to happen, okay, people?
I got a few more questions.
It's not like he was going to win. You know, it was a very easy fight when I saw it. Terrence Crawford is a fighter that's in game.
So what'd you make of, because you just said it wasn't like Sean was gonna win. What'd you make, obviously, going into that final round, he was being told, Crawford that he's down. He's down on the cards.
He should be, because he probably was, honestly.
So why would you say that Porter had no chance of winning, or that he wasn't gonna win?
Reason why I said that Porter wasn't gonna win is because his brain checked out. I'm watching these people like a hawk.
So what is it that you saw in that fight where you're like, yo, like he's mentally checked out of this fight?
Okay. Like a little over past the half point of the fight, what do you see? You see Terrence Crawford landing more shots.
Yeah.
Landing uppercuts, landing things. Why? Why is it? It's because what ends up happening is that Porter ended up reverting back to his old style and his old way of thinking.
He didn't have a choice, Blair.
He gets tired, mentally fatigued. He goes back into like this way of thinking, whereas though he's a fucking football player. And like, you know what he wants to do? Just bulldoze through. Like, don't think, just bulldoze through.
Don't drop them gems on him, Blair. Don't do that, bro.
Because he has more ability than Terrence Crawford. It's very easy to have more ability than Terrence Crawford. I'm far superior to Terrence Crawford in ability.
That's cap.
But you cannot beat a
that's cap.
when you are going
Blair, that's cap.
He went on autopilot around.
I said
completely.
Blair, that's cap.
Running into really bad shots and getting hurt consistently. You know, and that's because his brain checked out. You know, his brain checked out. People forget this. And I hate even teaching people this shit, because like it's one of my biggest secret weapons. Yeah, you have physical endurance. You have mental endurance. Because you can get mentally fatigued in there. If you ain't on your shit, you can lose it. You know, and
talk your shit. Talk your shit, Blair.
Terrence Crawford beats these guys. You know, he beats them.
Hold up.
They get mentally fatigued.
Hold up. Did you just hear one of the grand neurological synapses get jumping, you know, bridge crossing thoughts? Of our brain housing. Did you hear what he just sent across the synapses? He's basically saying Crawford mentally fatigues these fighters. How often do we talk about mental fatigue in boxing? It happens, but people don't talk about it because they just don't have anything that they can relate to it with. Like sometimes people just have to have some type of familiarization to know what he's talking about. Mental fatigue. Mental fatigue is be a point where you don't have much left to say, well, I can still win this fight, or I want to do this, but I can't. It's too difficult to get off on them like that. You know, you start to get mental fatigue and doubting yourself, and then surrender steps sets in, and it goes all bad from there. So that's what I'm talking about with Blair Cobb. I truly like how he carefully itemizes, you know, what his expressions is. You know what I'm saying? He don't go all around winding around and, you know, giving you some fragmented type answer. He's pretty decent with it, bro.
You know, it's not like, why you think he's losing early in the fights? Because they're on their game. They're watching. They're on the game, and they're getting it. So you know, and then next thing you know it, they're not on their game.
You don't believe in when they say, you know, fighters take a couple rounds to figure figure you out,
adjust.
kind of learn tendencies. You know, we hear it all the time with Canelo. We've seen Canelo, you know, down early on the cards. We saw it Amir Khan, obviously Billy Joe Saunders.
We'll get back to. I'm just trying to give you some snippets, not the whole entire interview. Once again, shout to be in boxing. He is truly representing Texas in Errol Spence Jr. Ocho say Eddie Reynoso said they haven't signed to fight anybody. Anybody who's in this live chat, I want you to understand to just make this applicable moving forward. When you hear news, just try to look around at 2 or 3 other sources, because you know people say things and it's becoming really a nuisance. You know, it's almost like doing a antagonizing a puppetize, where you can puppetize someone from a distance just like you can antagonize them. But for me, it deals more so with puppetizing the media, because the shit you say is so much. It pretends like it's relevant and it's not, but yet so many people grab onto it and it's not even true. But by then, it's been so many hours placed in talking about this topic, and it's no way even close to being the topic. So if Reynoso say nothing's happened, this, that, and the other, man, come on. It comes a time when these teams are playing fucking games too, y'all. They look at our shit. They want us to jump to Twitter. When they say, okay, it's just like saying Oscar Valdez and Shakur Stevenson both signed. And then, you know, come back, well, Shakur haven't signed yet. Well, we haven't heard he haven't signed. But now all of a sudden they still sign. I mean, they have both signed. So I don't know what to believe in this boxing shit, because it's all hocus pocus. Remember that. It's all hocus pocus to distract you from what is really going on. Blair likes to trade carelessly. His heart is big, but his defense ain't up to par. He believes in his power. Just my assessment. I still fuck with him, though. I want to see him fight more often. So do you respect his 15-0, 11 knockouts? Being he's a late starter, do you think he has potential? Does he have the potential to make a late move and get a big name in the next 12 months? I think he does, man. I think he has that opportunity. If he isn't on the shelf over there with golden slipknot, see-through, rayon silk, shoot pool and motherfucking fishnets. Jade, that's Nori and did EFN. For the record, Crawford was up on the cards going into the 10th. He absolutely was. And you know what, Andrew? I really don't know why people ran with that narrative just because it was playing out on TV. It was so hilarious because that's like the same shit that happened with Tank. So I say, okay, they done picked another trend. They know the camera's looking. They would say, hey, like they whispering. The camera's picking up everything. You know you down. Crawford's like, for real? How's that? Okay. And then he goes out there and take out a motherfucking mallet. I don't know where the fucking mallet came from, but it had some damn a fresh cement dried on that bitch. And Crawford swung it and hit Porter and knocked his ass down. And Porter was like, damn, dude. Damn, that's fucked up. Hey, don't nobody tell him shit no more. This dude losing his mind. If he down on the scorecard, just let him stay there. Porter has spoken on the challenge of staying sharp and 100% focused during an entire fight. I can believe that Porter does have consistency in the fight, right? But I just felt, I wouldn't say he lost focus when he was caught with that left hook, but his focus wasn't good enough to see the potential danger in Errol Spence sending that left hook that changed the fight. That, to me, is a bit of losing focus because you're so wrapped up in turning combinations and just being wild and erratic, you're not paying attention to what Errol Spence has going on. Are your hands up? What can I be hit with? Yeah, I mean, he had a bit of complacency there, and it paid him dearly. It paid him dearly. It doesn't matter if you get up and say, "Oh, let's go, motherfucker, fuck you, man. You did me like that." Fuck, no, I wasn't. Who cares about all that shit? He just earned a knockdown in a very, very close fight, where at the end it was a man up. Both men was up. Flair will fuck around and die against any of these fighters. Not at all. You take a strong-minded individual like that, it's just what we say about Rolly. Rolly is one of those individuals that we'll joke and play with the way he talks and how goofy he is. But Rolly, he can probably take a lot more punishment than many of us, because he's just wired different. Is someone saying they the best at the doghouse rules? Rolly's, if he's in the gym, he say, "No, I beg to differ that." Floyd, I can't get in for Floyd. I didn't get in the doghouse and Floyd. I didn't get in. He's saying he's the best. Floyd, I'm the best over here, Floyd. All right, I'm getting laced up. I'm getting my car and my headgear and everything else and my shoes. I'm getting in there. I'm gonna show him. That's Rolly. He's about to go in there and face a motherfucking light heavyweight. That he just has that side to him that he may not be wired totally correct, and also that wiring may allow him to take a crazy amount of punishment from Gervonta and walk through the shots. And though he's not walking through them like they didn't hurt, he can walk through them just because he's tough enough to get past it at that moment. You know what I'm saying? He's not gonna sit there and squabble about it. But if he finally get broken down, that knockout may be crucial. That knockout may be, oh man, that might be on ESPN top 10. It might be all bad for Rolly, y'all. Yes, I respect Blair 15-0, 11 knockouts. Top 7 welterweight may be a shit much for him right now. He has a chance to be competitive with the bottom half on the top 15, though. I know another cat over there on that side too that he ain't mentioned, and that's Jahad Tucker. Shout out to Jahad Tucker, man. He has a fight coming up in March. Staying very, very active. You know what I'm saying? Noel say Rolly has a better chin than Ryan. Yes, I would say that for sure. That's an easy gainer for me. Rolly has a better chin than Ryan. Yes, sir. Definitely. And Ryan might have that 20. That 20 is called chin theropodologist, which is not even a word, but that means it's deterioration of the bone structure of the chin. And the only remedy to it is that you find some fine grade confetti paper and you do a little incision on either the left or the right side of the chin. That confetti in there real nice, and put a blow dryer to it and dry it up. And hopefully, what they're saying, that's supposed to improve the durability of your chin. Put that confetti paper in there, pack it all in. You know what I'm saying? Get that blow dryer, clean it all up, dry it up so that paper can expand on the inside of the chin, and you should be good. Should be good. Real talk. I'm being serious. Real talk. I might open up a business called, Packing Chins Incorporated. I need to start packing some chins. Crazy people are strong. Not wiring. We have a few screws loose already. 10K home in 6. Damn, Jay Ocho say he gets KO'd in 6, dog. Fuck what Isak Cruz is able to do. He's saying Isak Cruz is Gervonta Davis is no Isak Cruz. He's getting taken out in 6, bro. Damn. All that tough shit ain't what's up. They still have human heads. Maxim D was being was begging Buddy to continue that fight. He was, man. I felt really, really bad for that guy because I know he was over here fighting for his family. I did. I still see Maxim's face right now because I remember I was paying so much because of Buddy, and the good time I had with Buddy. Good guy, man. When we was in Texas, all over the place, but good dude, man. He was pleading his heart out to Max. He said, Max, no, Max, you taking too much punishment, Max. Come on, Max, I can't do it, Max. I'm pulling you out the fight, Max. You can't do it, man. I appreciate him doing that, man, because he saved the man's life, but unfortunately for Buddy, he cannot see internally to what's going on. He can't see the damage, the level of the damage. But he did take him out the fight. And he ended up, collapsing, going to a coma, and ended up dying. That's tough, tough, tough way to go, man. Damn, that's tough, boy. Kami has a better chin than Ryan. Yeah, I agree with that. I agree with that because I looked at the type of opponent Luke Campbell was, and he put hands on Ryan's chin. Yeah. But what we think about the Blair Flair, man? Is he gonna start to make moves in this boxing game? Are y'all sold on him? Have I somehow made some new Blair the Flair Cobb fans in this chat? Because I find him as a very intriguing type of individual if he's gonna sell his brand and he's gonna sell that persona to the boxing. I think it'll work well for him. I really do. I really think it'll work well for him, and he needs to go in there and continue to win. Because if you don't win your next fight, boots are gonna be on you like, man, come on, white on rice. He gonna be saying, man, you was talking all that shit and you already done took an L. So we'll see how that play out coming up. You know what I'm saying? But I like the kid. I like how he talked about several fighters in his division, and he kept it very tasteful. Nothing, he wasn't sitting up there denigrating the fighters. And then so shit can spread back and people start atting them and shit on IG. At. That's how motherfuckers be dry snitching. Believe that. I just gave you a gem. Motherfuckers be dry snitching with atting. You know what I'm saying? That's what they do. Good question, man. Oscar Valdez and Shakur Stevenson. For one, I know Shakur Stevenson has the better rangefinder and hand speed. He loves his opponent at bay doubling up the jab. I like when he keep the fundamentals first and doesn't substitute that with anything. And most of the time for Shakur Stevenson, he stays on task. He tries to put rounds away, keep his hands active. The jab might be up top 1 minute, then down there at 3 o'clock in the midsection. He keeps it going. He tap you up top, tap you bottom, then like stick you with the hook. I like his variety of offensive delegation. I really do. Oscar Valdez, very tough fighter. Obviously, the more slower fighter, but he can box his ass off. Oscar needs no validation as to how tough he is. Just look at his fight with who? Scott who? I mean, he was fighting with a damn busted jaw, man. That dude is tough. Regardless. Now, I know I put a post up on IG of him and Shakur signing the contracts, but on the side of Valdez, I put VADA question mark. I seriously mean that because the way I look at this fight, this is not a Miguel Berchelt Oscar Valdez fight now. It's gonna be some times these two are engaging. I'm not gonna put that jacket on Shakur Stevenson just because Miguel was knocked out, that he's gonna keep his distance and play around on the outside so he won't get hurt. No, Oscar's gonna have to touch Shakur Stevenson with that damn right and see what happened. Any hand, he's gonna see what happened. We're gonna have to get some answers, on the job answers. Can Shakur Stevenson stand up to Oscar Valdez punching power? Because I can promise you this. You ready? I can tell you Shakur Stevenson don't have no knockout on his resume like Oscar Valdez. Hold on for a second. I got an important call. Hold on for a second, y'all. Yeah, we back. We back, shawty. So back to Shakur Stevenson and Oscar Valdez, man. He's a tough fighter. Both of these fighters are tough, but when you see the knockout that Valdez was able to deliver on a Burchell, a guy who they had high hope, big dreams for, definitely Shakur Stevenson needs to be weary about that. You can't go out there loose handed and think you don't have to, use that defense because Oscar Valdez is considered the slower fighter. No, this fighter, both of these fighters can really set their own pace. What's going to change it is the distance. Is it going to be a at range type of fight, or there's going to be some times where they really mix it up at close quarters early on and test each other? Who's going to be the aggressor, and who's going to be the boxer fighting off the back foot? Or if we're just going to have a stand-up, Cool Boy Steph versus Angelo Leo type of shit. Brandon Figueroa versus Cool Boy Steph. That type of shit. I mean, is it possible for us to see Oscar Valdez and Shakur Stevenson in that type of fight? I don't know. I don't get that type of energy or impression from them. But Oscar's definitely got to come like he always do. And he's going to have to substitute for the hand speed. Once Shakur get going and he start landing those combinations, don't let the eyes start to swell up because he's just going to keep on tapping that motherfucker. I really can't say with this fight because, you had one guy coming off the juice. I'm just wondering, is he clean or not? Is he on Vada? And then Shakur Stevenson, he's going in there with all the tools he has. We just don't want to see the Toka Conclari or the Nakathila performances from Shakur Stevenson. We want to see the Joey Gonzalez, Jameer Herring. I mean, that's the damn performances we want to see. And of course, Oscar Valdez, we want to see you give just as much energy that you did with Miguel Burchell to Shakur Stevenson. If you feel you can try to go for the knockout and he can't fuck with your power, try to land that power punch you landed. Try it. Fuck it. That's the only way we're gonna find out if your power is legit and if Shakur Stevenson has a chin. That's it. That's the only thing we can hope. The verse conscious on here. Salute on deck. Crazy people are strong. Not wiring. He has a few screws loose already. Tank KO him at 7. Somebody gave him 7. So we got somebody at 6, somebody at 7. AK the glass jaw coming has a better chin than Ryan. Blair versus Conor Ben. That'll be a good fight, man. But I don't know if Conor Ben wants that Blair work. For real. I just don't think he wants those problems. I don't think Conor Ben wants those problems, dog. Blair is a big dude now. I'm not saying Conor's not about that, but he hasn't mentioned Blair Cobbs at all. He really confident and believes himself. I want to see him fight as somebody that see what's happening. True, we all do. I've been fucking with Blair and Flair Cobbs. I've been fucking with Blair the Flair Cobbs. He is a golden Shower Girl Promotions Island, though. I think you said that earlier. I know you're not cutting paste and putting back in comments, Mitch. You said that earlier, dog. Shakur will outbox Valdez, and everyone will call him boring again. Watch. Valdez is no slouch, though. He might convince one of the judges to score the fight for him. Listen, man, I just can't go into a WBC fight, even though it's a unification, and not see the favorite if it goes to the scorecard leaning heavy towards who? Oscar Valdez. They already showed the support for still letting him fight in his home base. Why he popped positive, no suspension, no retroactiveness. Man, come on. That was blatant captain corruption, dog. That was blatant. That shit was fucking blatant as hell, dog. I consider Shakur a pound for pound fighter, very well developed. Maybe he'll get a pound for pound status if he moves up to 35 and beat somebody for one of those belts. That's all I can tell you, people. I can't say any other, I can't say any other. If he moves up, get a 3 division, I think he possibly could be thrown on the pound for pound list, undefeated. And it's all about who his fault. Shakur Stevenson. He has to move up to 135 and fight somebody. And hope by then somebody would have picked up one of those huge ass clown shoes and goddamn slapped the shit out of Kambosos in the back of his head. And so he lost his memory and he don't even know how to box anymore. So he had to come off them titles and they have to be fought by somebody else. For real. Somebody need to goddamn take one of those big clown shoes and put some motherfucking tree sap on there. You know what I'm saying? So when you swing that bitch and you slap it on his face, that shit stick. Everything. It sticks. Put that raw tree sap on that bitch. Slap the fuck out of Kambosos. For real. This shit don't make no damn sense, y'all. But my people, man, it's time. I got so much shit to do, y'all. Appreciate y'all for pulling up. As always. More content to be coming in from these gyms. You know what I'm saying? Because it's a lot of shaking and moving going. I was at American Top Team gym the other day with my boy Carlos. He was doing strength and conditioning of a fighter that he fight for. And if y'all don't know Carlos Jackson, King Dynamite, he's 18-1. He had that win over Juan Guzman, his last fight, but great dude, man. Solid cat, bro. And it was good to see some of his strength and conditioning. And also I had Michael Seals, who just competed in Triad Combat on Triller. He also signed with Top Rank. I had an interview with him because, I'm trying to educate the fans on the different fighting formats now. I'm really trying to implement and encourage fighters to train a little bit of mixed martial arts in the clinch. For real. Because when Michael Seals was going over and we had the legend himself, Jun Cao, Jun Cao showed us some of the clinch work that boxers can use to control their opponent. I mean, it's amazing, man. I mean, I'm telling you, the shit they do in mixed martial arts and grappling, it's a beautiful art, man. And he was over there showing Michael Seals and Carlos different techniques on the inside to control your opponent. So I know Carlos posted one of the videos on IG. I posted 2 of them of the strength and conditioning on YouTube, and I posted Mike Seals. I still have to post Jun Cao video when he was basically going through different technique with Carlos and Mike. Shout out to Coach Philippe. You know what I'm saying? It was good to see the Lima brothers. They was in the building, of course. Douglas Lima, a 4-time welterweight champion in Bellator. Good dude, man. His brother Diego, man, for him to be a fighter, that dude always has a big smile on his face. They're all nice people, man. Real nice people. But yeah, check that out, man. And remember, I told you, boxers at least take up a little bit of MMA training in the clinch, remediated clinch work. It will absolutely help you out. Now, the reason why yesterday was brought to the attention because I was telling Mike that when I seen Mike Perry reach out and grab him, all he was doing is testing to see what your response was, because they have a certain way of how they get control. It's a lot of hand fighting, how they control your elbows and everything. So if you looked at that triad combat, Mike Perry reached out and grabbed Mike. At that point in time, I knew he was just testing on how and what his reaction was. And once he did that, it was over. He clinched and he got there and put his head all in Mike. He was dirty boxing him on the inside. And Mike just pretty much said that's something he wasn't aware about. But the next time, he's definitely going to be on point with the training aspect and remediation of knowing how to clinch and fight on the inside. You know what I'm saying? That's just another layer, I think, that should be added to these fighters' game. Because I can tell you one person who does it fairly well, and that's Lomachenko. Lomachenko trains mixed martial arts every now and then too. You know what I'm saying? I don't know why he'll never think to go over there. He can fight at 125, 135, and he'll make pretty good money too doing it too. But anyway, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. And shout out to Coach Philippe if I didn't give him a big shout out. And Michael Seals, man, appreciate the interview. Let me see. You think Andrade getting that Benavidez fight? I just want Andrade to get any big fight he can to prove that he's the guy. He goes in there and beat Benavidez, he should get a Canelo shot. Also, with Jamal Charlo, I want him to move up and fight a legitimate fight. If it's Benavidez or who, go up there and fight. If I would have more respect for Andrade to step up there and fight that beast than Benavidez, than Charlo moving up there and finding somebody at the bottom of the food chain that we don't even know. And he's trying to get the Canelo fight. It's too many people that's saying they're going to get the Canelo fight. The Triple G shit. Then we have Bivol. Before it was Canelo. And then somebody else's name that I just read that's popping into the equation. Danny Jacobs, y'all. So I usually be quick on my shit. Danny Jacobs, y'all. Danny Jacobs say he wants a rematch with Canelo because he wants to be a two-weight champion. Danny Jacobs wants a rematch. So you know that damn hat is heavy, ain't it? Canelo say, "Hey, amigo, take my cap. Too heavy. Too many paydays in there. Andrade, Jamal, Benavidez." Gennady. It's too many people. You have like 5 cats. Jamal Charlo, Gennady Golovkin, Demetrius Andrade. I'll say David Benavidez. And Demetrius Bivol, we have to leave him out because he really wasn't calling out Canelo like that. But you get the point, man. It's just too many people calling out Canelo, man. We got so many other boxers that's out here in the sport. Fuck no, Andrade ain't getting that Benavidez shot. He fight that imaginary eliminated 168. What do you think of Gary Antoine Russell? I think he's a beast, man. I think he'll get his shot this year. Gary Antoine Russell at 140, I think he'll get his shot. Antoine is a different type of breed of apex predator. I truly believe that he thinks he's an apex predator, and his mindset is that when he's on the hunt in the ring. I got mad respect. I remember sitting back in the seats before the crowding came in. Antoine was fighting deep on the undercard Wasn't hardly anybody there, and I just, I had the opportunity to just see how good he was. You know what I'm saying? How technically authoritative he is. And he's a very solid fighter. Very, very solid fighter, man. Andrade needs to fight, and it needs to be a time where his name pops up, and somehow it's with Regis Progress or something. If you saying he's good, Regis Progress still there. People still think Regis can bang. I mean, I did witness him stop Ivan Redkach, who claimed he got hit in the groin, but it was clearly the damn hip. And he put on a show, gave him the Oscar in the back. He got up, got dressed, dipped out the back, probably went to a strip club down here. Andrade need to fight Janabek or Upains. I keep hearing that shit, but you know what? Man, those two have to make the fight too. It takes two. Gary Antoine Russell will be world champion in super lightweight. I totally agree with that. Antoine was still slated to fight Victor Postal. We'll see how well he performs. If he gets a stoppage, that's impressive. I think it's gonna be very, very educational fight for Antoine at this point in time. Real talk. But people, I gotta bounce. I have to call back this. This is a big ass fight card. This taking off in a little bit. So I would tell you who made that phone call, but nah, you know what I'm trying to do. When people call me sometime, I be asking them, say, I'm on live, man. You mind talking on live for a second? Come on, let the people know who I'm talking to, man. Goddamn, let's chop it up. Sometimes, nah, I don't have time. I ain't gonna put you on live. I'm just saying, audio. These people know how to listen too. But yeah, man, we have more topics, leading up. Shout out to Robert East. He's still doing well, still recovering. Shout out to Team Robert East, the Bunny over there in Ohio. Seriously, Shout out to the Atlanta fighters down here. They have a big fight that's coming up down here on the 26th. So y'all stay tuned, man. Appreciate y'all pulling up as always. Thank you. And shout out to Mr. Gumbo for the super chat once again. And tomorrow's Friday, so you know what's going. Friday and Saturday gonna be turned up for real. I want to do a panel tomorrow, man. I want to have a panel, man. Some thorough individuals, man, that know how to talk their shit. About some educated talking points on boxing. But you know what it is, man. Turn up and tune in.